Hi, Mark. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Beautiful sunny day, but chilly.
Good. This weather's crazy, eh?
It was
Like,
snowing yesterday,
yeah, what banana weather.
April
We've
20th, and it's snowing.
yeah. Well, summers are short, right? They start in June and they're done by first week in September. Then we get some great fall weather, but man, oh man, 12 good weekends of weather.
I know, I'm telling you, it's crazy. Crazy.
Yep, it's crazy.
So we
So
were, go
go ahead.
ahead.
All right. So you got some information for us on condos. I'm going to open up my little text because I kind of want to let people know how this video is going to go. So a little bit of background. I was looking at listings a few weeks ago and I came across, told Dan, holy cow, I see a lot of vacant properties out there for sale. So we looked at freehold, and then now Diane dug into the condo market and it's kind of really surprised me with a large number of vacant condos. For many reasons, we'll get into that in this video. Make sure that you give a like button, share the video, and subscribe for more information. Here it is. Take it away and talk about this condo
Well,
inventory.
this is like, so we went over the freehold in the last video, which is 28%, which is a high amount.
Very high.
But condo is like alarming. There's 182 active and 89 are vacant, which is 48%.
Yep.
So
That's
almost
huge.
half of them.
Yep. Yep. It's massive. And
Massive.
as you know, I've had condo clients and looking at certain buildings and stuff like that. And we've gone through many of them. And one building that really stands out for vacancy was Lakeside by what's it called Little Lake there over there.
Yeah.
Incredible building. We seen 3 in one day, and they were all vacant. When I went back and looked at the rents in that building to see what kind of how much rents were in there were tons. And when I saw people moving in and out when we were showing, lots of turnover. So, some of those buildings have a lot of tenants, investment properties. Then if we talk about Nautica, that's a little older demographic. Yeah, we see some vacant ones in there, but some have moved on to, retirement homes too. So we'll see a bit of that in the condo market, but and same with that building, IOF too, handful of there are vacant too from older demographic passing away, etc. But
Yeah.
I still think the majority of them are investment properties that people are selling.
Well, yeah, like this one here on Blake, I could tell you that's probably somebody that's either passed away or moved on to a home or something like that.
Yeah,
Because this is not a huge investor building, Mark.
it's not.
But
It's
when
not.
we start seeing this
There,
brand new build,
I showed that one.
and it's brand new,
Yep,
so it's an investor.
100%. The building's what, 2 years old at best.
I don't even think it's 2 years, is it?
I showed that unit in particular a couple weeks back. There was some rent. I like the building, but there was quite a few that were vacant there as well, right? And this was one of them.
Yeah, and these are definite. And here's your lakeside terrace.
Lots.
Now, when you look at the pictures, Mark, it doesn't look vacant.
No, but we know those are placed furniture. I mean, whatever we call that to be in the pictures like that, right?
Staged or virtually staged. The reason why I want to bring that to people's attention is because when you look on realtor.ca,
Make the picture bigger so they can see it a bit better.
when you look on realtor.ca, you can't tell if it's vacant or not.
No, no.
And you even got surprised by some that you thought were vacant and you got there and it wasn't.
It was a bomb. Yep, I've seen both sides of it. I showed that unit too. It was a decent looking unit.
Was there furniture in it? Yes.
Yeah, there was. That furniture was in it. That they've staged that unit. It was a nice looking unit. It's just, there's a small footprint there. It's really, really small. Bedroom size was great. Everything else fit the bill, but units are
Lakeside Terrace, most of them are small, right?
very small, tiny for the one bedrooms. Yeah, oh, absolutely.
But a lot of these were bought by investors.
Oh, 100% they were. I sold them there a couple of years ago. Yes. Same with this building, Coda, newer building. One sold last week. You'll see some turnover in that building, not as investors, but as an older demographic.
Yeah, even at the in Dunlop too. Not as many,
No,
not
no.
as many investors in there because it's too high.
The condo fees will
The
cripple you.
condo fees are too high, right?
Yep.
But in all these newer buildings,
Mhm.
now not Dean, because that's an older building,
Right, right.
but for older people. But look at, I'm actually shocked because a lot of these are not in the building, new builds. There's some. Oh, here we go, in a roll of them.
And the new builds, what I'm seeing in the condo market right now is those new buildings that are 5 and under are selling very well because of manageable common element fees. The buildings that are older, we've seen a couple there on Blake, 108 days. I saw one there for 225. They have high condo fees. Dunlop Bayshore, high condo fees. And they're priced, for the market at 4 and change, but people can't afford them. So who's buying these opening low price points? It's young demographics, and they can't afford those common fees. Or someone may be downsizing, but even someone downsizing going, holy cow, it's $900 a month. Forget it. So,
Okay, so people can look at this too. See, Mark, this one is one that is virtually staged. So, well, we can obviously see that, in this picture, there's nothing in it.
right. Yes, there we go.
So, people, if you're going through the pictures and you see an empty room and then a full room, this is virtual staging, right? I've done it myself, only to give people a feel for how big it is.
Correct.
Because these things are actually to scale.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it gives you a good feel of like what you could fit in there, but it's obvious that it's actually a vacant unit, right?
100%. And when you got 48% of the product that's actively listed on the board that's vacant, who's selling? We know who's selling. I'm sorry, but it's investors that are getting out.
Oh, for sure. It's definitely investors because
Right.
yes, you might have the odd one
Correct.
that somebody lived in it and they decided to move in with their boyfriend.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to sell theirs and it's vacant.
Right.
Or you have the odd one where a person went into an old folks home.
Correct. Yep.
But
Yep.
there's a lot here, Mark.
There's a ton.
A
There's a ton.
ton.
There's a ton.
So these are investors who are cashing in, they're getting out.
So let's talk about that then. Okay, we know that. So what's happening with the supply for available renters in Barrie? It's eroding.
Yes.
As we've got numbers from GTA markets, as we've discussed before, where they're seeing 50 to 75 or 75 to 100 every month coming off the market for rental. Now we're seeing it here in Barrie because we just stumbled upon this one. Let's go do some digging and kind of see. So, we never had those numbers before. So the supply of rentals is getting squished. So when there's supply, and we did a video last week about rental properties and but rents in Barrie, holy cow. I almost fell over at how high they are. Watching this video, go check it out because the rents were astronomically high. And we thought, wow, there's 300 listing. Oh, there's lots of supply. Then we went to the sold and went, oh, that went pretty quick. Very quick. And it's normal for this time. So I hate to say this, but you know what? Renters are going to keep paying higher rents.
Well,
Supply.
they are. And the other issue, Mark, is how many investors, and I know some myself that aren't my clients, but I know they're investors. That bought 2 or 3 years ago, they bought a new build and the rate was 1.79. And then the deal, it closed this year or mid last year.
Yep.
And the rate's 4 or 5%.
Oh yeah. Well, there's lots of those people too.
They can't even afford to rent it out now. The rent doesn't even cover their mortgage.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
So they got to sell it.
They got to sell it. And there's some of those. There's some of those in here for sure.
For
right?
sure. Yeah.
Most of those buildings I've gone to, the lower price ones under 5, new buildings, just because cheap condo fees, right? So,
Yeah, but they probably bought it 2 years ago,
oh, easy, maybe 3,
maybe 3.
right? They took some time and they're going to make some good money on it. And as we said in the other video, now with the capital gains taxation changing on June 25th, are we going to see more come on the market? I don't know.
I'm interested to see that too.
Right? It's going to be interesting to see, right? But I'm astonished at how much supply, both on the freehold properties and the condo properties, will be coming off the market. Because me and you both know investors aren't buying right now. They're not buying. So those are going to, people to move into them, live in them full time, minimal rentals, right? And not too many investors are doing it. So,
Well, and
wow.
before, when you had an investment property, Mark, a lot of times, like I remember selling some condos and stuff where it was an investment. The person buying was going to use it as an investment as well.
Yeah.
Well, we could keep the tenant. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Mhm.
Now, because you're right, you need people that want to live in them.
Mhm.
They're sitting there.
Yeah.
They're not like we've been going over the condo sales and they're terrible.
The sales are bad, but it's only a handful that are actively turning. You go to Nautica right now, we've gone through this exercise before. There's 8 or 9 listings there, and most of them are all triple day on market, relisted, and we're talking 150 grand less than when they started, right? Condo fees aren't bad, but it's just that demographic seems not to be buying into that building. Condo fees are a bit more expensive. So let's say the average 2-bedroom in Nautica is 8 and change for condo fees. And then maybe they look at other buildings like Lake House, which is a new building, and the condo fees are in half. Yep, they're going to catch up over time because as the building ages, it will require more investments down the road. But I'm telling you, are people watching their pennies when they come to condo fees? I think they are.
Well,
See,
and for the people that are moving into Nautica, it's usually retirees or older people.
yeah,
With the market being shitty right now, where they just not going to sell.
possibly.
Let's wait till something starts picking up here.
Yeah, probably. Some are. Yeah, right. They're going to wait and see what's going to go on in the market,
Because
maybe.
it's not a great time. If I'm selling a $1 million house or a $1.5 million house in Midhurst, it's not the time.
No, but some of that market goes good over there, as we know. But it
Yes.
really depends, right? It really depends, and what the expectations are of those buyers and sellers that want to move. See, some of them I want a certain number, and I'm willing to wait till I get to that number before we downsize. Okay, that's your choice. If you wanted a certain number and that market's not there for it, don't list it. And I've told you before, I've had conversations on people that are saying, hey, we want to downsize our home right now, and we want this much money for it. And I go, that market's not there. You need to hold it a
Yeah.
bit longer. Because you're not
Well,
going
and
to get
is that why the condo market? Because normally in Nautica and certain buildings, like even the crappy views go kind of quick.
they
Not like this, like now they're just sitting and sitting.
sitting and sitting. And I, 2-bedroom sure wouldn't last long in that building. Now it's lasting a long time. So, and the views are also facing north a lot in that building too, as we've gone through the listings many times. We know there's a building going beside there at some point, as we know. More looking over the city versus looking over the south, where more water, open water to see, less downtown core, et cetera, et cetera. So the right inventory is not in that building. What happens if the right inventory comes on? I have buyers looking there, but they're not settling. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see.
And and just like we talked about in the freehold, are people going to get a better deal if they're going for something vacant and people are
Yeah,
paying the taxes,
Mhm.
the mortgage, and the maintenance fees in a condo?
100% you are. 100% you are. You're going to be crazy not to. Just look at days on market. That's going to tell you the story right there. Every agent has the same tools as we have. Pull up the history, educate your buyer. What's going on here? They've been trying to sell this since July 2023. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 price changes, expired 3 or 4 times, terminated, relisted. And I did a video for a client today, and I just put one in the mix there to say, oh, I love this property. I'm going to show it to you. It's not comparable to yours, but I really like it. And I thought, and just to show you kind of some pricing in the neighborhood and what overpricing kind of does. started at 1,400,000. It was on Taylor. Love the property. You know, the property was done up beautifully.
Mhm.
It's like they spent a ton of money. They've owned the property for several years. They've painted the house exterior. They changed the windows, they took out walls. They spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on it. Wasn't the right time to do that, in my mind. We showed at
No.
1 point, you got 1,042,000.
Yeah.
There you go. What does that tell you? The market wasn't there for that high
No.
priced property.
No.
And, and I hate to say it, but Jesus, there's still a lot of audience out there, people out there that are continuing to list their properties high.
Well,
And
even in the condos, we're seeing that too.
we see it, and again, that range under 5 in the condo, again, I can relate to the newer buildings because I've had clients that were looking for newer buildings and lower condo fees. They sell relatively good. And when I'd see one come up, I'd go, 485? Are you 3 months ago, they got 425 to 435. They're not getting that. And they get it. 480. Whoa, what? There's only a handful of those buildings that have low condo fees. And
Yeah, I know. So those
they
ones,
qualify.
and there is some for sale vacant with investors trying to get out.
Oh, 100% there are. 100%. But I can tell you right now, those are the ones that are higher fees. I'll tell you that right now. They're higher fees, right? I've seen dozens of them. And to those investors, spend the money, clean the units up, paint them up, paint the baseboards nice and white, show it clean, spend a couple $1,000. You're going to get more money and it's going to sell faster. If you don't, it's going to sit and you're going to be judged. And then you have to
and what people have to realize too, when there's a lot of inventory and there's a lot to choose from, little things can really hurt you. When 2 or 3 years ago during COVID, there was like 50 listings, there was nothing.
Nothing. No.
Anything sold. Okay. It didn't matter. But now when you have to realize if you have a huge influx of inventory and there's a lot there, people can pick and choose.
I remember going to a listing appointment, a friend of mine selling his townhouse. He rented out. Rented for the same tenant for years. Great tenants. So we walked through it. Okay, Mark, what should I do? Should I paint? Nope. Should I get the carpets clean? Nope. Should I move some of this, get them to move some of their stuff out? Do nothing. Do nothing because you don't need to.
Yeah, I know.
So good, strong. Sure enough, a couple offers come in within 3 or 4 days. Have to do that now. That has shifted. That has changed. And we're seeing, we've seen a lot of agents come into our industry over the COVID time because everybody was making big money. Says, hey, I'm going to go get my license, get this done and make big money and join them. Now those same agents today are starving because they don't know how to navigate the shifting market that we're in and can't give advice. I've seen many people get poor evaluations. We see in the real estate board, what are you doing asking this? I don't even think some of these agents know how to understand how a board works, let alone a market, because all the information's on the real estate board, from actives to solds, to everything is there. You need to know is there.
Yes. Why
are we continuing to give higher valuations to people to list it? We can't, back in the old days, we'd say, oh, well, it's a seller wants this. No, this isn't a seller's market anymore. We have to guide that seller properly for today's market. Back in COVID, ask what you want. I'm sure we're going to get it. Let's try it out. Not today. That doesn't work today anymore.
No, and you have to really look at, okay, so my neighbor's condo is at 550 and mine is the same. So I'm gonna list at 552. But your neighbors have been on the market for 3 months.
100%. 100%.
550 didn't work. Okay.
That's right. They've tested. Yeah.
So like you can't just look at what's out there, go on Realtor and look at what's out there. You need to know how long has it been out on there for that long.
Yep. 100%. 100%.
Hey, if you like our stuff, Mark, we forgot. If you like our stuff, hit the like or subscribe, drop us a comment. And if you have any questions, ask away, because a lot of our videos we're actually doing because someone's asked us questions. I had somebody yesterday go on a big rant on me about that we're you know, we're focusing on tenant stuff and rental stuff. And I said, well, that's because I've had 3 questions in the last month about, should I get rid of my tenant? Should I sell it with it tenanted? Like, you know, I'm doing the video to answer a question.
A lot of times we are, and that's what we want to kind of do. And we encourage people to do that. And if people have questions on selling or buying and what we should do or not do, call us. We know what to do and not to do. We look at
Well,
the
yeah, a lot of times I hear some advice that people are given and I'm in shock.
Yeah, like this one. Yep. Let me list your house for 1.238. Yep, I'm gonna get it. Yep. Oh, by the way, here's the comparables. Drop them on the table, piece of paper. Oh, well, that scenario didn't work out for that couple. And I use that example all the time because I feel bad for that couple.
Yeah.
Getting 965. Right. So misinformation, people make bad decisions on people look at us that we should know the market, which we should. If I'm a real estate agent, I should know this market inside and out.
Mm-hmm.
And I should prove to you that I know it because I would sit you down at the kitchen table and I would go through everything. Here's what's active, here's what's sold, here's what's overpriced, here's what's been terminated, here's what's lit. You name it. That's the kind of information that sellers need today.
But Mark, and you don't do it and I don't do it, you can't guarantee what somebody's going to get.
Not in this market. I'd never guarantee. I give you a range. Here's where we see your property going. We've gone through many properties, whether it's condos or whether it's freehold. If a property is priced for today's market, it's going to sell. I saw one, as I told you earlier today, over on Blue Water, 964 listed. Love the street, love the area, under 2,000 square feet. Don't recall if that's finished basement. So I'm flipping through the pictures going, holy cow, kind of dated. 2 days on the market, they got an offer. Probably more to live in the area than anything, right?
Yeah.
Because I still think the 964 for that square footage is a little high for what it needs to be, but that street had some real big demand and pull in for the buyer. They wanted to be there because I love the street to death. So, you know, but it sold. They got the right buyer, even at a higher price, which I was kind of surprised that fast.
Yeah.
So, well, happens.
Well, and if somebody comes in and tells you they're going to guarantee you a price, like, you should run the other way.
You have to. You can't. Unless they can back it up. If someone can back it up in recent, we can't go back. I like going back any more than 30 days. If I can't find something else, spread it out to January, but say, hey, and talk about how the market's gone from then. But
well, Mark, the
point
problem
to
I
last few
have,
numbers.
the problem I have with it, and I mean, you and I have both been in the business and the industry long enough to know it can change on a dime. It could be in high demand. I've seen like bidding wars on a Friday, 30 offers, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll never forget it in 2017 on Easter Monday, it stopped.
Yeah.
Everything stopped. It was like, what is going on?
What happened in COVID? After the kids went back to March break, all this inventory came on and we going, what is going on? It's not selling. Look at the inventory numbers coming on. Then it
Nothing's selling. So like you can go in, I can go in today and give you an evaluation and you don't list for 30 days. We're in a whole different market 30 days from now.
It could be. Yeah, it could be.
So I can't guarantee you anything. Because like a lot of what's going on is based on the market. We don't control the market.
We don't. The general public think we do, but we don't. We participate in the market.
That's right.
We want to give good advice on what valuations should be today and not be today, and based on sales history. We always look back on to give guidance and know if you know in the market and to know when to push it maybe a bit. Say, hey, you know what? That house sold in 3 days and you have a summer house. Yeah, let's try another 15 grand. Let's just maybe 20 and see what happens. I'm not going to say,
yeah, exactly.
Let's try it out. Or maybe your house doesn't show as good as that one that sold 5 days ago. I don't think you're going to get that same price they got because they just did the kitchen. They just redid the bathroom and say the basement's finished as an example. I think we should go there because you're going to be judged against that.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt you. So it changes. And I think,
it does change. It's volatile.
Right now it is. And I really believe that this spring market that we're in, again, we'll start seeing more activity in May. Even so far in April, I'm not seeing gangbuster sales right now. I'm seeing some good ones. I'm seeing some inventory
Well,
in certain areas, but I'm not going
listen,
gangbusters yet.
I talked to Rob this morning.
Mhm.
He's saying that normally this time of year he's doing a ton of pre-approvals.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
not.
Well, again, look what's going on in the economy. I think
Yeah,
there's,
but I mean, if you're gonna buy in May and June, then you need the pre-approval now.
oh, you do.
You
You
should
do.
be talking to your mortgage guy. He's not getting those requests, Mark. He's shocked.
Yeah. Less
So
to come
that,
in.
well, and
But
he and people usually go to him before us, right?
yes, they usually do.
So if he's not seeing it, that's not that good.
No, it could
Because
be.
he's like, actually, he got an award. He was like the top Dominion lending guy in Ontario or something. He does a
Right.
lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he like when he said like, yeah, normally like I don't know what's gonna go on with this spring market. Normally I'm busy as heck doing all these pre-approvals and I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah. Well, again, we can see that business possibly being, we're gonna find out in the next 60 days. We're gonna possibly see that, okay, that business is being spread out to later because our business is very seasonal, and I really believe the weather has a lot of impact with it. We've had crap weather for the longest time.
Yeah, but
Cool.
you know what he said too? He said,
Well,
but July and August is usually vacation time. Nothing happens.
yeah, but we've seen good July sometimes too,
Sometimes.
right? Kind of catches off guard. So it just seems like it could be being spread out, but I don't know. I still think there's some uncertainty in the Canadian economy, and
I
I
think
think
so too.
some job losses. And look at the price of gas, 175.9 last week. Jesus, like that's insane,
I know.
right? So we know what's going to come. Like all this hard work the Feds have been doing with trying to combat inflation is slowly evaporating with higher fuel costs and higher food costs.
Oh, even the food, everything.
It's crazy amount of money. It,
It is. Everything is going up like crazy.
I know. So, well, I think
Anyway,
we talked this one to death.
I think we did. We did a good job.
Yeah, that was good. Okay.
Okay, we'll see you later.
Ciao.
Bye.